Hello and welcome to this very new YouTube video where we will talk about health and network marketing, the importance of how to manage your health while being a top performer in network marketing as a top leader. So I've been in the network industry since more than 5 years now, full time as a top leader, and I've never heard any leader, anyone talking about that. And why is it important to talk about that? Because I truly believe that network marketing is a very, very special occupation, a very high performance, no real rest, no real, like if you are a networker, right, you don't have like most likely you don't have like a lot of habits. Most likely you're traveling a lot. Most likely it's very difficult to follow a certain diet. Most likely it's very difficult to have a fixed and set sleep schedule, especially if you take your business very, 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 like, if the importance is very high in your business, then it's like you don't have a schedule. If you really want to make it, if you want to push it hard in the first years, especially in the first 2 years, there are different phases where we'll talk about. In the first 1 to 2 years, it's like hustle hard, no like full focus, no sleep will be difficult, you will sleep less, and until you hit a certain income level where you can live comfortably, I would say, then you can start to focus on that kind of stuff. But we'll start to talk about the health in network marketing, high performance. What we will basically talk about also are the 3 phases, as I just talked about. So there's the hardcore phase, the normal phase, and easy mode. Depending on what kind of work you as a top leader have right now, you will switch in these phases. We will talk about gym, we'll talk about sleep, about food, about supplements, about work environment, and the conclusion at the end of the day. So let's start with the basics, and let's start with the 3 phases you are in. So there are 3 phases how you build this business, right? At the beginning, there's always the hardcore mode, then there comes the normal mode, and then the easy mode. Now, these modes can switch depending on what's happening in your business. Let's say, for example, in new leader launches, a big organization, you have a promotion, a lot of people are coming in, and you have like kind of a leadership gap. Then you will switch from, let's say, normal or easy mode again to hard mode, or you're traveling, you are doing a tour, as I just did a tour for 2.5 months where I slept 4 hours on average, 4.5 hours. I drank like 5 coffees a day, nearly smoked a pack of cigarettes. So very important is that I am definitely not the perfect definition of health, but I try every day to be very healthy. I'm a very consistent worker when it comes to the gym, when it comes to supplement, when it comes to understanding health, and when it comes to treating my body and my mind as well as possible. Since, as I said, we are high performer, right? Our business is open, eyes open, eyes closed, right? That's basically how it is. There's no, 7 p.m. it's done, and then you come home from work, and then you don't have to think about work anymore, and no one will call you. Sometimes you wake up, sometimes you have a call very late. Means most likely you don't have a fixed sleep schedule, you don't have a fixed food or eat or diet schedule. Like everything is all over the place, right? Especially in the beginning. So network marketing in this business, I truly believe in the first 2 years, you will have to hustle hard. You will have to put everything aside, family, friends, partying, gym, whatever, and just focus to hit a certain income level where you can live comfortably. And then you go into normal mode, right? Normal mode is basically you manage a lot, you sponsor your people, you can have like more like a schedule and a diet, and you can start to go to the gym, right? That's how I did it. So the first 2 years I was burnout, right? First 2 years was high performance mode, no left, no right, no, just straight, right? Just tunnel vision. And I believe this is very important, right? Because for me, it was, I had to run to survive. I had to make this business work, or I would not survive otherwise, right? Some people start differently. Some people have an income, they have money aside, maybe they have a part-time job, whatever. I did not have that, right? So the first 2 years, I was not at the gym, I was not partying, I didn't go, I ate whenever I could. It was very difficult, okay? So then when we talk about normal mode, as I said, that's where you can start to go to the gym, which I really recommend. You really should go to the gym as a networker, especially as a man, but also as a woman. It doesn't really matter because it pushes you, right? It pushes you, like you know it, like the healthy body, healthy mind, right? And you cannot develop a healthy mindset if you don't have a healthy lifestyle in terms of, and your body is not working at the end of the day. Because as networkers, we sit a lot, we think a lot. Like, many people mistake and make the mistake and think that what we do is easy because we sit all day, we're on our office, we can, chill on the sofa, we can sit on a couch and do the business and Zoom calls and stuff like that. But that's bullshit. Like, it is very hard. Why? Because you think a lot. Why? Because your brain is always working. Why? Because you always have to be there, right? It doesn't matter if it's normally when you eat, if you have a Zoom call with an important leader, if you have a Zoom call with someone that wants to launch in your team, if you have a Zoom call with whatever, right? You jump on. And as the important is that I'm saying that not everyone is like that, right? But I truly believe if you want to make it to the top 1% of networkers, multiple six figures a year, which I achieved, going into seven figures a year, is high performance, right? There is no, oh, now I cannot do Zoom calls because I have to eat. Oh, no, I don't feel good. I'm going to do a wellness or whatever. I, since 5 years, never took one day off. Even if I was sick, I was still hustling and doing some stuff. So maybe that's crazy, but I just can tell you from my side. So these are the three phases, right? Hardcore phase, normal phase, easy mode. And these will switch. You can sometimes switch from easy mode when everything is like a little bit slow to a promotion, strong month, like strongest month in network marketing, most likely is Jan, Feb, March, September, October, November, right? These are like the high performing months. And these are the months where you will switch from easy mode during the summer, maybe into the normal or hardcore mode, where your sleep schedule will be fucked, your diet will be fucked over. You're maybe on a tour. If you're on a tour, it's very, very difficult, right? Meetings every day. You wake up every day. You sleep like 4.5 hours. You are with people all the time, and especially if you're an introvert like I am, it costs a lot of energy. And I had to learn a lot. Like, before, when I started network marketing, I did an event, for example. I spoke at an event one day for an hour. I was dead for 2 days. Nowadays, I can push a 2.5 month every day Europe tour, sleep 4.5 hours, drink 4, 5, 6 coffees a day, and be on destroying mode. That's possible, but because you will also get better, right? Let's say it like that. But these are the three phases, and they're very important to understand. Now let's talk about the gym, right? Point number 4. Gym at least 3 times a week, right? Why is that so important? Because there are different hormones that get released into your blood, into your body when you go to the gym, and you will feel very, very good. You will feel stronger. You will feel happy, right? You will feel like you have accomplished something, and you can take this into the day. Sometimes, if you don't have a sleep schedule, you wake up, you're tired, right? You slept like, I don't know, 7, 6, 4, sometimes 9 hours. I, on average, when I'm at home, and I have a kind of a habit, because when you're at home, you can decide how you start the day and how you end the day, right? When you're on tour and stuff like that, it's very difficult. But at home, I have like a sleep schedule where I would say I sleep at least 9 hours, at least 8, right? Somewhere in between 8, 9, sometimes more, because I just need that to be energized for the day, right? To have all these thoughts all the time, like downline here, team there, call here, this leader wants this, you said this, no, like it's so much. And then trading, numbers, forex, accounts, investing, going up, it's crazy, right? So you need sleep, because especially if I don't sleep enough, I get aggressive, I get in a bad mood, and if I'm in a bad mood building this business, it's not really good, right? So better sleep longer, not in the hardcore phase, right? There are hardcore phases where you cannot sleep 9 hours. You will sleep 4, and it's okay. Your body can take it for 2.5 months, but you should not extend it, right? Or sometimes even longer. But there are rest phases and there are hardcore push phases, right? You will have to manage that somehow, and they will come naturally, right? It's like it will never go for endless forever, like where it's hardcore phase, it will switch into normal mode again. And these are also phases that are sometimes very hard to manage. For example, if I go on a tour for 2.5 months and I live like a rock star life, basically, I like speaking to meeting to hotel, from hotel to country to plane, whatever, right? It's like you are all the time under pressure. Now, when you come home, you kind of have like this rock star syndrome where you're just like, shit, I'm at home, nothing is going on. Like, what is happening, right? Your body has to adapt again to a normal sleep schedule, just chilling down a little bit. And that's good, because that's the regenerate, that's the phase where you just get, you fill yourself up with new energy and new thoughts, and you try to get into a sleep schedule again. So when it comes to the gym, that's the point that I'm trying to make. Go to the gym, do sport, right? You don't have to go to the gym. I believe that's the best, because when I go to the gym, I can personally develop, I can listen to stuff, I can just think for myself, I can just, organize my thoughts for the day. And many times I just wake up in a bad mood, bad mindset. I just feel bad, whatever, right? Because the sleep schedule is fucked up, or maybe because I slept a little bit too bit, because that's what happens when you sleep a little bit too much. You get a little bit of fatigueness, and if you understand that if you go to the gym afterwards, you will just feel like you can conquer the world, right? And I believe it doesn't matter if you're male or female, do sport when you are in network marketing, not in hardcore phases, right? You can implement it. I did it on the tour too. I tried to go 2-3 times to the gyms. But in hardcore phases, especially if you are in the first 2 years, right, put everything aside. True. Don't focus, like if you are making $800, $1,000 a month, don't go to the gym. Start when you are comfortable, when you have an income where you can say, now I can live a little bit more comfortable and I can start to go to the gym. There's always a phase where you don't have time for that. And that's the beginning, the first 2 years, right? After that, you can, start to sometimes watch Netflix, game a little bit, go to the gym, like have some hobbies, have some stuff, because if you are not happy as a person, you cannot build like a happy business. It's not possible, right? Take care of your girlfriend, boyfriend, family, all the kind of stuff that is important. That's what you can manage after you can live comfortably from network marketing, right? So I also truly believe you shouldn't push there. But yeah, to finish with the gym point, because I'm already going to other stuff, like I'm connecting all the dots, is definitely, do sports, go to the gym. Now, the fifth point is sleep, right? As I already said, 9 hours, easy. And you don't have to feel sorry. Like, don't listen to these Instagram coaches and this bullshit. Like, you have to sleep 4 hours, what the blah blah blah. Like you have to jog 20 minutes and then do 500 push-ups, and that's bullshit, right? That's not true. That's not how it works, right? Use the sleeping phase to refresh yourself, because the higher you want to become as a leader, the higher the rank that you want to achieve, the more you will have to have an organized head and a body and a mind where you can put a lot of pressure on. And that's not possible if you sleep 4 or 5 hours all the time, right? So take the sleep serious. I sometimes, even in the day when I feel very tired, I would nap. I don't really nap. I don't do that often, but sometimes when I feel I'm unproductive, I'd rather nap in half an hour and then work another 4 hours productive than not sleep the half an hour and just lose the next 4 hours by being unproductive, watching YouTube videos, shit like that, right? Because since we are working from home, we can do whatever we want. Okay, but we will talk about that too. Now let's talk about food, and supplements is gonna be very crazy, right? So I have some tricks and tips for you guys that change my life entirely, and it's very cheap. It's a couple of supplements that, sometimes we have these problems like being fatigued or having like this fatigue feeling in the mind, like foggy. I have a supplement that changes it, but I will talk about it in a second. Let's talk about food first, right? Very important is when it comes to food is protein based, right? Especially when you go to the gym, you want to see some results. So try to eat healthy food, as obvious, right? When you're traveling, it's sometimes very difficult. Also, right, if you are a vegan, if you are pescatarian, if you are whatever, right, it will be very difficult when you're traveling. And I would not put myself, like, I was vegetarian for a couple of months, I think like a year. And when I was traveling, I was eating meat, because it is insane, stupid, difficult to make it happen, right? You eat at gas stations, right? And what you're gonna eat on gas stations? A fucked up salad? Like, no, bro, like it's not gonna happen, right? So be very, very mindful about that. And don't push yourself too hard, because when you are under stress, when you're doing a lot, you need a good protein, a good intake, and most likely it's easier if you eat meat. You don't have to eat meat all the time. The times are changing, right? It's getting easier and easier all the time, but it will be difficult, right? So I'm just gonna tell it, like, I would eat meat and do that kind of stuff. Now I'm back fully normal eating meat. I think being vegetarian was a stupid idea of mine, but I tried it out. It was nice. I didn't have a lot of benefits after a year. And I believe, but that's just a belief of mine, that being vegan is like kind of a disease, but whatever, right? That's not for me to judge. Do whatever you want. I'm just going to be honest with you, and I'm just going to tell you, you will have to check your food intake when you are stressed. So also when you're at home, when you're, for example, in normal mode or easy mode, right? If you want to eat less meat, that's cool, right? Like when you're at home, you have your habits, you have your diet, that's good, right? But try to focus on a good protein-based food, okay? Not a lot of calories. And then I would recommend you to try to have a schedule when you eat, right? So for me, it's difficult. Sometimes I sleep very late, also because of the time zones. I'm here in Dubai, I have a team in Portugal and in Europe, basically. And sometimes it's 3 to 4 hours difference, right? So let's say, for example, the Portuguese team has a team call at 10 or 11, which they sometimes do. That's like 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning for me, right? And I'll jump on. So then, for example, I will definitely sleep until 12. So when I wake up at 12, I don't eat directly. So some advice that I learned in the last couple of years building this business is your food schedule will be fucked, right? It's very difficult. Try as good as possible to have at least 2 meals a day in a time window of 8 to max 8 hours, right? Because then you're also doing intermediate fasting, which also helps your energy levels and all that kind of stuff. Because when you push hard the first 2 years, you will fall into a hole. You will fall into a state where you will feel unenergized. You just can't anymore. You're nearly burned out. And then that's the point where you have to start. And I'm going to be very honest with you. It has to be like that, most likely, right? Everyone that is successful in something, very successful, extraordinary successful, they went through a phase where it did cost them, right? It was not easy. But you cannot do that forever. In the beginning, you can do that for at least 2 years, 1.5 years. But then you have to go into, normal mode or easy mode and look for your diet and go to the gym and take care of your body and your health, because if not, you're going to be fucked anyways. And then especially in network marketing, in a business we do is in front of people speaking, like you will have to be energized and people will feel your energy. And if your body is just fucked, you will never have like a good energy level that people want to follow, right? People don't follow you only because of your success and money, but the person that you are. And I am someone that focuses on winning in every aspect of life. If it's health, if it's gym, body, mind, personal development, money, communication, family, everything, right? So you will have to be someone that is a student that learns in all the different aspects of life. But to do that, right, first you need a certain income level, and then also you need to acknowledge that you need a certain schedule. So when it comes to eating, right, 2 meals a day, no breakfast. I don't believe breakfast is good. So I would not wake up and eat breakfast directly because it makes you very tired. It makes you, it makes you slower. Breakfast is something that breaks the fast, right? So I would focus on 2 meals, no breakfast, maybe some water, coffee, and that's it, right? Also, when it comes to coffee, max 2 coffees a day, max, right? If you're on hardcore mode, more, but normal mode, 1, or normal mode 2, easy mode 1, hardcore more than that. Don't drink energy drinks, right? I do it too, very rarely, sometimes when I'm on tour, when I really need the performance, when I'm speaking, Red Bull, whatever, but don't drink it on a regular basis. If your motivation to build this business comes from caffeine and taurine and all this bullshit, then that's not a good source, right? So be very mindful and careful about that. Then when it comes to food in general, what I just did just now, and that's why I actually did this podcast, because I kind of started to understand all of it and dig deeper into it, is I did like a 3-day fast. I did a 2.5 day fast, right? Where I didn't eat anything. Why? Because my body was kind of a little bit sick. I had some infections going on. I couldn't get rid of them, right? Because of all the stress, time zones, traveling. Like imagine you fly from Vegas to Dubai. That's like, I don't know, like 100 time zones that you fly over, and then you come here, and then it's like, it's just a lot. It's just crazy, and I can tell you from experience, right? So I had this problem, and I just did, okay, I have to have a cut. I need to fast. So that helped me a lot, and I will implement that for now every month. So every month I will do a fast in between 2 and 3 days, right? Because I just feel crazy. That like I feel crazy, and it gave me such a good reset in everything, right? Where I also, because if you fast on the first day, most likely you don't have to rest really. On the first day, I still went to the gym. If you want to have all the information how I did the fast, I will put it below this video, right? So you will have the fast steps and all the tips and advice that I researched, that I used. Because there are some things that you really have to take care of, and you have to acknowledge. And I will definitely implement it once a month, because it gives you like a great reset. It re-energizes you. It helps to heal your body, because as I said, you are not like a normal person that has a normal job. Like a normal person wakes up, routine, goes to work, works 7-8 hours, and they can build their whole business and a life around a habit, and that's the work habit that they have to do anyways. But we don't have that, right? We don't have that. And it's very, very difficult, and your mind and your body gets very confused by the time zones, different sleeping hours, different feeding hours, right? Different everything. Every time it's different, right? It's never like, it's very hard, right? It's very hard. Let's be very honest. Like there are some very disciplined people, and I'm also disciplined, but bro, I don't want I did not become a networker because I want to sleep every day at 1 a.m. or at midnight, right? Sometimes I'll just also just want my time, and then I'll watch some Netflix, I game a little bit, I'm with friends, and I don't want to be the person that's always like, I know now I have to sleep. I became a networker because I can do whatever the fuck I want. I can sleep whenever I want, I can wake up whenever I want, I can go wherever I want. No one tells me shit. That's why I became a networker. So when you have this freedom, right, it also comes at a cost, and you have to be very careful about that. Now, what you will have most likely is energy, like you will have a feeling of being energy lost, right, in this business. Why? Because you don't have these habits. When it comes to habits, a big mentor told me you can only control how you start the day and how you end the day. Everything in between is madness, right? So start to control how you start your day and you end your day. I have fixed habits around how I start the day and how I close the day at the end of the day, right? Everything in between is very hard, right? Sometimes there's a team call, Zoom call, and then the Zoom call, the person doesn't come, and then you have time again. It's so hard, and you know that as a network, right? So what I felt after 2 years is that I was very energy lost. I slept a lot. I was still very energy lost. I was very fatigued in my head. I had this sense of that my head is like kind of lost, like it's kind of, how do I say, it's like cloudy, right? I believe you guys know what I'm talking about. So what helped me, and let's talk about point number 7, that is supplements. You will definitely have to supplement as a networker. Why? Because you're always inside. You don't have a big sun intake, right? Vitamin D intake. So supplement vitamin D, C, D with K2. So C, okay, vitamin C for your immune system. When you travel a lot, very important. Vitamin D, very, very important. It gives you the feeling of, being a normal functioning body and human, because most people that are like, most likely everyone these days have problems with vitamin D because we are not outside anymore. We are not exposed to the sun that much anymore. Even here in Dubai, I'm white as hell. You see me like I'm a fucking toast, So even if I live in Dubai, but Dubai is also crazy. Why? Because if I wake up at 12, which I most likely wake up, I only have like 6 or 7 or 8 hours max of, not even, I have 6 or 7 hours of sun time, right? So when I wake up, my routine is that I'm, drink my coffee, I do my book of gratitude, I sit here, I personal development, I drink my coffee, I trade, I invest, I answer the first messages, I get like an overview, and then it's already like 2, 3, 4 p.m., right? And then most likely I go to the gym. So I don't really catch sun. So vitamin D, because most people have a how do you say and that's a problem if you speak a lot of languages. Sometimes if you want to find out a word, deficiency, right? They have a vitamin D deficiency. Everyone has it most likely these days in the Western countries. So supplement vitamin D, C. Zinc is also very good. Why? Especially for men, testosterone, the masculine energy, the masculine hormone, right? Very important for you. If you are a man or a woman, if you want to build this business hardcore, you will be most likely in your masculine energy, and you need that. You need, as a man, a good testosterone, because it will just energize you, right? So vitamin C, D, and zinc helps with that. Gym also, definitely protein-based food, all that kind of stuff. Then very important, a basic. So you have basic and acid diets, right? So there's this theory which says that in a basic body, a body that has a basic level, is healthy. In a basic body, there is no possibility for diseases or whatever to develop. And I can sign that. Why? I have done my own study. Why? Every time I'm at home and in my normal diet, and I use a supplement for, like, I eat normally, but I supplement. They're from Germany. I buy them in Germany. They're called Salz. And these are just small tablets that you take. They make your body basic, right? So you switch from acid to basic. Because if you eat meat, if you smoke, if you drink coffee, if you like the normal stuff, soda pop, all this shit, that's all acid in your body, right? Especially coffee, especially meat, especially that kind of stuff. And when you take that into yourself, your body is acid. And if your body is acid, cancer, right? Cancer dies in a basic body, but develops and spreads exponentially in an acid body. So I found out that if I am at home and I'm supplementing a basic diary, eating basic diary and supplementing with basic tablets, I never get sick. I only get sick if I get overseas, right? Definitely you sleep less, it's, jet lagged, less sleep, different influence, whatever. But every time I went traveling now, And I did not take my basic tablets with me to stay basic, right? I always take them before I sleep and in the middle of the day. So they keep my pH level basic. So I never get sick. And I never took them to travel. And I always came back sick. COVID, throat fucked up, especially when you go to America, whatever, because the time difference is so big. Even if you travel sometimes from a hot country like Dubai or United Arab Emirates or like, okay, you guys know what I mean. If you travel from an Arabian country like this, where it's always warm, into a cold country, and you come back, you're fucked, right? And the last times I took my basic tablets, and I did not become sick. Now that can be coincidence, but I don't believe in coincidence. I believe I know my body very well, and I traveled a lot, many times, and it always happened. And since I'm really focusing on that, it never happened again, right? So very, very important to do that. Okay, so when it comes to supplements, very crazy. Okay, and then especially when it comes to supplements and foods, Google antioxidants, right? If you have a lot of stress on you, there's I just know it in Germany, like freie Radikale, like free radicals. Most likely that's how you say it in English. I don't know. But there's cell damage going on, right? Your cell, your whole body are different cells, right? And what a cell does is grow. Like that's the object of life, is growing, right? So your cells are growing, growing, growing because you're feeding them. And sometimes there are misconceptions, there are manipulations, there's bullshit that happens in your body. That's the easiest way I can explain it. It's like the protein biosynthesis. And very important, guys, if I make any mistake, correct me, right? I'm not a doctor. It's like just autodidactic learning that I did about the concept of health and understanding my body, and it works really good for me. But as I said, very important is that your body can develop bullshit, right? That's because you are acid, because you're not basic, you don't have a basic diet. And then also because of the antioxidant, that's what you need to take because they protect your cells, right? So for example, you could take, so I take selenium, which has a lot of antioxidants. I take OPC, which is like the from grapes, the grape, like there's a study in a special Italian village where they drink this special wine and they all become very, very old, and they've kind of tried to figure out why is everyone becoming so old in this special city, special countryside. And that's because they drink a special wine which has a very high resveratrol levels. And in OPC, that's what you have. Like just put in OPC supplements and that's what you get, right? So just take just Google antioxidant and then buy the supplements and take them, okay? Because you will have to save yourself when it comes to the cell stress that you put on yourself, because we have a very stressful job at the end of the day, right? Network marketing is very, very stressful. So then the last tip and advice that I can give you, which is a fucking game changer for me, is creatine, right? I started to take creatine because of the gym. So what creatine basically does, and that's the most studied supplement at the end of the day, creatine helps you with increase in your body, in the muscle, in terms of you will have more power, in terms of how can I say, you just have more power, and the muscles are just thicker. Just it looks better. So the effect is you look better, you have more power. What happens in detail is what you have to check out. I don't know all these names, but I know that there are different ways how your muscle work. You know, like they can either work with air basically. So there's the aerob intake, and then there's the anaerob intake. So when you don't, like when the air is not enough anymore, when you're, for example, in the gym and you're doing an exercise or whatever, you switch into energy. The energy source that is used then is, for example, fat. It is whatever, right? So your body has different energy ways how to power your muscles. And if you take creatine, it helps you with the regeneration of a certain, I think, anaerobe. So when your body is getting energy from other ways, right, it helps you with that. So at the end of the day, just Google it, right? I'm also not being a doctor here. Just Google it, but it helps. And it has the crazy side effect, which I did not know after I started to research it, because what I always had is this mental fatigueness, right? And I did the supplements, I slept, I tried everything. But when I started to take creatine, I never had it. And I realized that because I always had that, right? Because I just slept like 8 hours, 9 hours. very late in the night, right? And then I sleep, because most likely as a network, you will also sleep very late. Why? Because very late is when no one is awake. So the only time where you really are free as a networker is late night. Why? Because everyone else is sleeping. No one is asking you any shit. You can do whatever you want, right? You can also do that very early in the morning, but I'm not like a very early wake up guy, so I'll just do it at night. My time, me time is at the night. Starts at 1 a.m., 2 p.m., 3 a.m. Not starts, but starts at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. and goes until 3, 4 a.m. So I have like 2 or 3 hours every night that are mine, where I do my stuff. No one, no one messages me, no one fucks me up, no one wants a Zoom call. So that's the only safe time for me where I can relax, where I can do my stuff. So when you sleep late, you will have this fatigueness, you will have this cloudy mind, right? And creatine, I actually Googled it and I checked it in a study. The side effect of it is that it eliminates this feeling of fatigueness. It eliminates this feeling of cloudiness in your mind. And that's crazy because I never had it. And I take creatine. So I take C, D, antioxidants, zinc, omega, right? Also for like testosterone thing, gym and all that kind of stuff. And creatine, right? Crazy. So Sups, check them out. You can test yourself. You can go to the doctor. You can, they can do like blood work and then tell you what kind of deficiencies, let's say it like that, deficiencies that you have in your body. And I did it with a guy in Lake of Constance, where I come from. He used like a special system and treatment to understand and see your cells, what kind of deficiencies you have. And because of the deficiencies he gave me that I have, like he told me I'm supplementing, right? Especially the basics, which, as I said, is C, D, omega, zinc, and creatine, right? Should you take creatine when you don't go to the gym? You can do it. You just have to drink a lot. If you take creatine, you have to be hydrated. And that's another very important thing. Always be hydrated, bro. Like drink at least 2 liters a day, right? Don't drink too much, but at least 2 liters is what you have to drink. Especially as a networker, you speak all the time, and I'm already having the problem. You speak all the time, you get a very dry mouth. So we as networkers drink anyways a lot, but drink, right? Being hydrated is always one of the most important things. Now, the last one of the last points, number 8, is work environment, right? So you see my setup here. I have like a $2,000 4K camera. So you guys are seeing me in 4K. I have a Rode mic. I have a very big desk. I have a sofa over there. I have my own space. I have a very comfortable seating opportunity. It's crazy, right? So at the end of the day, try to create the best environment. Was it like that when I started? No. I started in my kinder room, in my kids' room, basically, with just a desk and with not even a computer I had. But when I had a computer, then I just had a desk and a computer, right? Then I moved into a flat where my office was in the living room and the kitchen. So living room and kitchen was all together. And my girlfriend was always like, cooking, doing her stuff, being in a living room. That's what you do. You live in a room, like living room, right? And I had my office there, and it kind of sucked. It really sucked. So when I moved to Dubai, my first thing that I did is I needed a flat where I have my own office and my own space. So your own environment will be very dictating how successful you will become in this business. If you have a space where you can do your own shit, no one, no one like interrupts you. You are not always like, you don't have these. For example, I can do Zoom calls when it's noisy. I can focus. I learned that, right? I can really, like, it doesn't matter what happens. I can focus on my shit. But when I started, I could not. I could not do Zoom calls when there were people around, right? I just wanted to be just my environment. And I know it's very difficult, but build your environment. The more money you make, the better your environment that you can build. Like when I joined, I didn't have the money for like a Rode microphone, which costs 200 euros and another 150 euros just for the arm that holds it, and a $2,000 camera with another $500 setup, with an iMac, with an iPad. I did not have that money. But the more money I made, the more, and the ring light and all that shit, right? The more money I made, the more importance I gave to the setup and the environment that I work in, because it has to, like, just for example, I love candles. I don't know, like, no homo, right? I love candles. Like when I have candles here because it just changed. Like I just want to be in a good environment when I work. It has to be fun, right? So be very conscious about that, because this will help you a lot also when it comes to your health, mind, the whole success. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that you are focusing on is becoming successful in this business without putting your mind and your body at cost, right? Definitely, all of us, we will all die and whatever, but Does it make sense to have a lot of money and then your body is just fucked? Definitely no, right? So there always has to be a little bit of a balance. And if you are conscious about that kind of stuff and you find out your own tricks, I gave you all of my tricks, all of my knowledge, all the stuff that I look for. Implement resting phases, right? Also very important, because as I said, imagine you build this business 20 years and then your body's so fucked because the caffeine, the taurine, everything that you put into your body just to survive the 20 years of network marketing, always being a high performer, not sleeping a lot, traveling all the time, different time zones. It comes at a cost that makes no sense. If you want to become a high performer in the top 1%, you will have to become professional. I truly believe that if you want to become the best, you will have to become professional in every area of life in terms of, as I said, body, mind, health, communication, psychology. There's so many things, right? But especially the health, because as I said, like you most likely can feel my energy because I'm just energized. I just love what I do, right? Do I every day love what I do? No, that's bullshit, right? That's, as I said, that's like the Instagram coaching bullshit talk that they give you. Bullshit, right? My camera's not focusing. Hello? Yeah. So they will tell you like, oh, do whatever you love, like make your hobby a job and you will never work. Bullshit. Bullshit. It doesn't matter how cool it is what you do, it will always sometimes just suck, right? So you will have to have phases where when you are comfortable, you have to start to do your bullshit thing sometimes, just wasting time a little bit too. Like ask yourself the question. One guy said that once and it completely killed me. He said, when was the last time that you were just chilling for one day in bed? And I'm like, bro, 6 years. And I'm not saying you have to because you're sick, because if you are sick, you are not really in a, if you are sick, you're not where your body is fucked, right? So it's not like you are healthy and then you rest. But if you're resting because because you're sick, because you just can't anymore, it is not the same thing, right? So resting out of feeling good, being healthy is a different thing as resting because you have to rest because your body's fucked, right? So he said, like, when was the last time you really took a day off and you were resting? And I'm like, bro, 6 years, whatever. So sometimes implement it. It doesn't mean you're not doing work. Do 1 hour, 2 hours on a Sunday, and the rest of the day just chill. Try to chill. It's very difficult. I can't do it really, but just try to chill a little bit. Okay. When I was fasting, first day easy, second day, yesterday actually was, yesterday was very hard. So I was most likely lying on the sofa. I did calls. I stand up to come here to do the calls, but then I was back at the sofa watching Netflix, whatever, because I was just so lost. And sometimes it is what it is, right? You need to do that. So the conclusion is, basically that's the conclusion, right? I just basically gave you the conclusion of the whole call, of the whole YouTube video that we just did here together. So take care of your health, guys. That was a very important message for me, because as I said, I don't know anyone. What is wrong with my camera? It's not focusing. No one ever told me about that, right? Everyone tells you how to become a high performer and you need to do this and this and this and this. But guys, take care of yourself.